Recently, a man named Julian Blank, the human equivalent of a walking, talking garbage bag full of used Rob Schneider VHS tapes, made the news for delivering classes to men on how to pick up women by physically assaulting them. Blank was kicked out of Australia and then his visa was denied for Brazil, and now there are calls to bar him from entry to the UK. I learned about this recently thanks to a man named Alexander who emailed me, pointing out that Blank's tips for seducing women were in large part based on pseudoscience and using a number of logical fallacies. For instance, Alexander pointed out that in Blank's videos, he's shown coming on to women by shoving their heads down towards his crotch, claiming that this is his way of picking up women, but all of the clips end before you find out what the woman thought of her head being shoved down onto his crotch. And so in a way, he's moving the goalposts from sleeping with women to touching a woman on the back of the neck. Alexander asked if, in addition to these techniques being incredibly creepy, if they also didn't actually work. His thinking is that it might be easier to convince men to stop giving people like Blank their time and money if you could prove that this was all pseudoscience that would never actually help these men. So thank you, Alexander, for writing in. The answer to your question of whether or not it really works according to the science is a qualified maybe, because really pickup artists use a number of different techniques. And also pickup artists and the people that they are trying to convince to give them money have a number of different goals that can range from having sex to touching a woman's neck, to forming long-lasting relationships, to having good sex or good regular sex. And then there's the problem of figuring out how to objectively test whether or not these techniques work in the real world without violating at least a dozen rules of ethics. Now, to be fair, there are several pickup artist techniques that will work for a variety of goals, whether it be having sex or forming long-term relationships. Things like simply not being afraid to approach someone, building up your confidence, not being afraid of being rejected. These things will work if you are able to approach more potential partners, then you will, by definition, increase your chances of finding a partner. Then there are a few techniques that some science shows may work. Some pickup artists suggest that you initiate physical contact. Well, there are some studies that show that for some people, physical contact is an important building block towards trust and physical attraction. And if your goal is simply having sex, regardless of the quality, then there are some pickup artist techniques that will definitely work simply because those techniques are, in a way, teaching men how to sexually assault and rape women. Many pickup artists will try to teach men how to overcome what they call last-minute resistance. In other words, coercing a woman who doesn't want to have sex with you into having sex with you, either through mind games or drugs and alcohol or simply physicality. The idea here is that if a woman doesn't kick and scream and fight as hard as she can to get you off of her, then she must secretly want to have sex with you. This may be shocking to you if you're not familiar with pickup artist techniques, but in general, they do all treat women as puzzles with boobs, something to be unlocked, to be figured out using either coercion or physical intimidation. Also, I'll note that a study was done a few years ago in which a professor took several students, both male and female, taught them pickup artist techniques, and then sent them out into the world to get either drink invitations or phone numbers. And what he found, apparently, was that the pickup artist techniques did result in more phone numbers and more drink invitations for the subjects. But also, the subjects came away from this research feeling as though they themselves were less honest, more selfish, and less responsible. So it worked, but they felt like crap. So asking if a pickup artist's techniques will result in more sex is sort of like asking if a psychic medium's techniques will result in more money. You could go to a psychic medium today, learn all of the tricks of cold reading, and be lying to people and extracting money from them tomorrow. But several questions remain. Have you made the world a better place? Have you accomplished your goals? All of your goals, not just earning more money. Did you want to start a career? Do you see the people that you lied to as real human beings? Or were they just sheep waiting to be sheared? So, personally, even though I find the science interesting, I'm not interested in arguing with someone over whether or not pickup artist techniques actually work. Uh, and I think that any man who would only give that up because it wasn't working is a piece of shit. And if he stops being a pickup artist, then he's still a piece of shit. But then if he realizes that women are actually human beings who shouldn't be tricked or coerced or physically assaulted into having sex with him, then he's going to give up pickup artistry whether it works or not. And that is far more important.